What's up, guys? CD here. Okay, today we're gonna do a new series. All right, we're gonna do a whole series based on PvP, arena, um, in Brown Dust. Hopefully, after you finish all the videos in the series, you're gonna get better at arena. You learn all the different positioning techniques, the logics of how to position units, how uh, turn order is really important for your team. Specific turn orders that achieve specific results. Um, you'll get to know the different roles of units in arena, right? So we're going to talk about mainly four main roles, all right? Support, roadblocks, DPS, taunts, right? This is not in order of priority. There are other roles that are less obvious and pretty gray. Units that have big AoEs and stuff. We're gonna avoid that. Basically, I'm gonna go slowly. We're gonna talk about units first, the different kind of roles that they have, and the most top tier units for their role, if that makes sense. All right. Um, Hopefully, after the whole series, you're gonna climb arena easy. You're gonna learn how to adjust your strategy. You're gonna learn how to position your units properly and understand the importance of turn order. All right. Before I start, I just want to thank all of you guys who have been watching my videos for subbing and liking the videos and stuff. It lets me know that you guys actually appreciate the guides that I put out. I really appreciate it. I know my videos are long, but sometimes there's no choice because I kind of get lost in thought sometimes. I don't really prepare to make videos. I just do it, on the spur of the moment. But it's really nice that you guys, leave encouraging messages and stuff. Yeah, and hopefully you carry on, if you like the videos that you think they help you, you like the videos that I do, sub to the channel and all that. And I just want to thank you all right? Okay, anyway, today's video, we're gonna start with roles of units, what they're supposed to do, all right, in arena. We're gonna talk about roadblocks today, and then we're gonna have a little bit of taunts. Okay, taunts is not really a big topic, pretty simple to understand. So more about roadblocks first. I'm only going to talk about the very top tier units, all right, in their roles, because these are going to be the most popular and you're going to face them the most. Okay, there are other options. At lower ranks, it's going to be a whole multitude of variables or kind of a huge variety of units, all right? But as you get higher in rank, it's going to change. Okay, it's going to be more consistent, right? The units people use are going to be more consistent because these units are the very best in their role. Okay? Okay, so just some background if you guys don't know. I've been playing the game for about 4 months, I would think. 4 months. My account should be about 4 months old. 120 days, yeah, around 4 months, right? I've been playing for 4 months. My server, Asia, is about 8, 9 months old. Okay, so I started really late, so I'm behind in books and stuff. And okay, so for my first month, I was probably platinum for a while. I rose pretty quickly because I started with Lucius. He's an amazing unit. Um, and then after 1.5 months, I got to Grandmaster. And I was Grandmaster 1 most of the time for the past 3 months. Last week I was Grandmaster 2 because I fucked up. Okay, and today Arena just ended. I'm Grandmaster 1 again. It's just general background, right? And as with Arena, I explained it in my previous videos on Arena and PvP. Please watch those to understand the basics. and how to do turn orders and stuff. They're really important, and hopefully you watched them already before you started on this. Right, because it's gonna get confusing if you don't understand what I'm saying, right? So hopefully watch those two videos first. They're on my channel. Check them out. And yeah, so we're gonna start with Roblox, right? So Roblox in the game. Roadblocks are very specific, alright? They achieve only one thing. They block a lane or specific areas of the map, alright? So we're gonna call this a map. It's like 6 squares times 3, so 18 squares. And they block certain areas of the map, right? So roadblocks are really important because they block damage from the opponent that would otherwise go onto your damage units or your supports. Damage units being most important, you don't want to lose them because you can't still kill stuff. You just lose. Alright, that's how it is. Alright, so having good roadblocks is very important in Brown Dust. Okay, so in this game, there are 3 very, very, very good roadblocks. Alright, these 3. Lucius, Arkan, Lillian. The most easily accessible would be Lillian. Her banner was just finished, I think a couple of weeks ago. She is the cheapest to get, meaning just getting her and then giving her 3 skill books, she's going to be a very, very amazing roadblock. Okay? Arkan, which is the same type of a roadblock as Lillian, they're both 100% defense roadblocks. Arkan needs at least 9 books of investment, alright, to be usable, and at least 10 to be really, really good. Okay, because you don't want Arkan to just disappear on you, right? And the defense, as you skill Arkan up, the defense that's minus every turn is much lesser at high skill levels, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think at plus 10 it's 48 turns. Arkan disappears after 48 turns at plus 10. If it's lower, it's like 30 turns now at plus 0. And the defense reduces really, really quickly, alright? Turns are, let's say, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. When Arkan attacks, that means 3 turns are gone, right? That's the most simple way of explaining to you guys what a turn is. A round is when both teams have finished all their turns. Alright? Okay, so about roadblocks. They all have their specific weaknesses that they are weak to, and you have to understand these when you use them or when you fight against them. Alright, because they are going to be used a lot. Definitely. Especially at high tier arena. They are going to be very frequently used because they do so much for your team. They're probably the heart of your team, alright? If you don't have them, your team dies really, really quickly. Alright, these are the big 3. Okay, so I'm going to go over probably the defense roadblocks and then Lucius, alright? Defense roadblocks. Please, if you have a Lillian and she's not plus 3, don't use her. Alright, she needs plus 3 for the plus 50% defense self passive. Okay? And coupled with 50% defense in runes. Alright, it has to be a total of 50% defense from your 2 runes. Alright, at plus 3. To match up with the 50% passive and then you get 100% defense, alright? If it's anything lesser than 99.5% defense when both are added together, then she is gonna die still from very, very strong DPS units. Okay? Slowly, but she will die before she casts her spell. And you don't want that to happen, alright? Make sure Lillian is plus 3 when you use her. Alright, guys? She is gonna tank every damage. Let's say I put it in this lane. She's gonna tank all damage in this lane other than fixed damage. Okay? What this means is, other than Alex, Cito, off the top of my head, Dalvi, Valfern, Levia, fixed damage dealers. Other than these, and I'm probably missing something, but I can't remember. Other than these few units, she is not going to take any damage at all because she is 100% defense, right? So putting her in the lane solo, as with Lucius or Arcan, if they do not meet their specific weakness, they will not die. And this helps you achieve the effect of protecting units in your other lanes. Alright? So basically, using a roadblock is very important in Arena for you to rise up the ranks. Okay? Now Lucius. Lucius is the best roadblock in the game because he is the best at blocking damage at +0. I mean, you can basically use him at level 1, 5-star, non-awakened, and he still does the job of a roadblock, alright? Because he has Death Guard. Death Guard is a skill where after he dies, he resurrects, and he has this Death Guard on him, which means it's like a shield that takes 4 hits. The hits can be of any damage amount, but it has to hit Lucius to remove different numbers of the Death Guard. Okay, so basically you have to kill Lucius once, and then remove the Death Guard with 4 hits, and then the 5th hit he will finally take damage. Alright? That's how he works, and that's why he is good for Arena. Alright? He is going to block and tank a lot of damage that your other units should have taken anyways. Okay? Specific weakness for Lucius. Alright, I'm going to take out a few of them. Foxy, where's my Christina? Christina, Rogan, Dr. Morgan, BDM, and so on. Okay, basically all these units have something in common, is that they multi-hit. Alright, BDM does 4 attacks, which basically means if Lucius dies and is resurrected with Death Guard on, BDM removes the Death Guard immediately. Okay, all 4 hits and Death Guard is gone, and Lucius will take damage again. Alright, so Morgan is 3 hits, Rogan is 2 hits, Christina is 2 hits, Foxy is 3 hits, right? All of these are Lucius' weakness, okay? But it is not that practical to use these 4 in Arena right now, okay? They have their users, alright? They have their users, but it is not worth investing in, especially the 5-star multi-hit units other than Foxy, because they are not that good. Okay, but these are Lucius' weakness, alright? Just to say. And believe me, you will meet, I mean in the future probably, like a BDM specifically to counter Lucius' Death Guard. Hard to say, people do everything, they can to win. So it's an option, and I hope you understand how you can counter Lucius with these kind of units. Okay, so weaknesses of the tanks. I'm going to talk a bit about Arcan's weakness. Arcan's weakness is similar to Lilian, which is fixed damage. Alright, there are a couple of units that only have this, so Arcan has a higher chance of surviving a hit from, let's say, Alec or Cito, because his HP is really, really high. So, unless Alec or Cito is extremely, extremely buffed, they might not kill him with 1 hit. Alright, and that's amazing too, in a way. Alright, Levia will definitely kill any of these 200% defense units. Definitely, Levia will kill them. Valfen really depends on the number of graves left on the field, because it boosts his damage, right? Everybody knows that. Right, so anyways, that's the same weakness as Lilian. So Arcan and Lilian are about the same, but Lilian is cheaper because she uses less skill books. Okay? Okay, so the placement, the positioning of roadblocks. You want to place them in the best position possible. Okay, so that they do not face their weakness so often. Does that make sense? I hope it does make sense, alright? So let's talk about Lucius first. Lucius' weakness is multi-hit, right? From a decent DPS with enough damage, he will die really, really quickly. Probably 2 rounds and he's dead, and that's not really, really effective. So you don't want to place him in tiles. Let's say I don't want to place Lucius in this kind of tile, because then he's gonna take a lot of hits from Foxy, and Foxy is very popular. Alright, she's gonna be very popular because she's strong, and a lot of people are gonna use her. So knowing this, that Foxy is gonna be very popular, and Foxy hits skip. So if I place Lucius in a skip position like so, he's gonna have to deal with a lot of hits from Foxy, and the Death Guard will be less effective. So you don't want to place Lucius in such a position. That is a disadvantage, right? So what do? You put him in front. And Foxy will never hit Lucius because she's a skip. And Lucius is in the front. So she will never hit Lucius. Alright? And as I said before, specific counter, BDM hits the front. Okay? Enough said about that. Another example. Lilian's weakness. Lilian's weakness is fixed damage. And out of all the fixed damage dealers, probably Alec is the most common in my server. And Alec hits the front. He hits 2 tiles from the front. So, I mean, I say he's the most common. He's not used a lot, but he's the most common out of all the fixed damage dealers, right? There's Dalvi and Sito, and we'll talk about the mages later. So, because Alec is the most common, I don't want to put Lilian right in front. I need to put her in a position where she is not going to get hit by Alec, because she's going to get one shot by Alec, right? So what do? I put something else in front of her, right? I put Foxy in front of her. And if Alec hits, he's going to kill Foxy. So anything else that goes after Alec, because you can only have one unit of the same type in the team, right? Is going to be stuck on Lilian, right? So I can basically maybe put a support in front. And it works like this. Okay, I can't put it like this because Alec hits 2 tiles, so I need to move it back. That is positioning of your roadblock, okay? So I don't mind losing the support, because assuming I am attacking, I have attacking advantage, my supports are going to go first, they're going to go earlier, so their buffs will already be on my units before they die. But if I am defending, I need to think of another formation, another position for these units to be placed. Got it? Okay, so if I place it this way, Alec is going to kill Goliath instead of Lilian. And Lilian will be there to block the lane still for at least 1 round before Alec comes again. Okay, so hopefully by then you already killed the Alec, so you don't have to deal with it. Ifs and whens and a lot of variables in Arena, alright? Example of using roadblocks, another way, alright? So, Lucius, Lilian, alright? So let's say I want to protect 2 units at the back on this lane. Maybe my Foxy and Eden. Okay, so these 2 are my main damage dealers. I want to protect them from any damage as much as possible. So unless the opponent has units that hit the back, like Belger, they're mostly skip. If they're mostly skip and front units, these 2 DPS units will never die. Because skip is going to hit Lilian, and then front is going to hit Lucius. Okay, example of a front damage dealer, Eden. Eden hits the front with amazing damage, right? And Foxy is a skip that skips and does decent damage. Okay? So if I place it like this, these 2 are safe to a degree of maybe 60% of the time. Alright? Now if I want them to be really safe, okay, assuming that Alex and Sito are really rare, nobody uses them. People use Dalvi maybe, but Dalvi hits the front. So if I place them like this, and then maybe I have another roadblock, like Arkan, at the back. Okay, so Dalvi hits the front, Lucius does not die from the single hit from Dalvi, even though it's fixed damage. Okay. Uh, Lillian blocks all the skip damage from Foxy, Sigmund. Doesn't take any damage, doesn't die. She's always here. She even gets the buff. Magic amplification buff, so she gets more damage. The number of times she gets hit. So Foxy is gonna like buff her a lot and stuff. And then Arcan is for the back, where Velja hits, right? So I don't have a Velja. Probably Viola has the same tile. So Viola's tile is 5 tiles at the back, right? So it's gonna hit anywhere, no matter where she's placed. So if Arcan is at the back, Velja does not damage 100% defense units. So these two DPS are safe from Velja as well. Okay, so this is the importance of roadblocks. Alright? So hopefully you understand a little bit more of how to use them. I mean, sure, you can use a roadblock for each lane, right? I can use it like this. Right? So, something like this. This lane is blocked. This lane is blocked. This lane, the skip is blocked. The front, if shit happens, Eden goes first, kills off Beliav, and the skip unit is next. Skip hits the back, that shit happens, right? It happens in arena. You can't really predict it, but that's how it is. So you have to be flexible with your formation, right? But most of the time, probably pretty safe, alright? The DPS is pretty safe. And as you know, attack priority, alright? So in the game, you watch my other video, top, middle, bottom. So if there are no units on top, they go hit the middle, and if there are no units on top and middle, they'll hit the bottom. Alright, that's how it works. If there are no units on the bottom, they'll go back to the top. Right, they'll hit the top lane. That's how it is. Keep that in mind when you place the roadblocks, okay? So what I want is to catch the DPS lane of the opponent or my roadblock lane. And that's the most important thing. So you have to look at your recent matches in your current tier in arena and decide on your own which lane you want to place your roadblock on and where they will be most effective. Alright, so use percentages, right? So let's say I played 10 fights, 10 matches. Most of my opponent's DPS is on the top lane, so my roadblock is going to be on the top lane. So I don't take as much damage as I do. Alright, simple logic. Positioning, be flexible, adjust your formation. Every tier you rise or fall, formations are going to change, are going to be different. Okay? Maybe let's watch some fights. Let's say some that are lost. Some with many roadblocks. Alright, so something like this. Okay, notice where his roadblocks are. DPS lane has no roadblocks at all. Arcan roadblock the top lane. Lucius roadblock the middle lane at the back. Okay, and the Jhin in front of Lucius, right, to counter any front hitters. I basically explain why they're placed in this way. Okay? You want your roadblocks to do what this Arcan is doing right now to my team. Alright, so I think he blocked like 2 hits, 3 hits if you count Lucius' hit as well. And that's how a roadblock is effective, alright? Of course, Arcan dies to Levia. That's something you can't avoid. So this is why roadblocks are the difference of you winning or losing, and the position of them matters, alright? I didn't adjust the position or the formation of my team because I was winning quite a bit when I attacked, so I went first because of the specific turn order of my DPS and supports, which means that my advantage when I attack is much higher than if I defend. So this was a defense loss. Most of the time, you're gonna have a better average of winning when you attack, right? So your winning rate when you're defending is always going to be lower because attacking advantage is a thing, guys. Watch the other previous videos about attacking advantage and you'll understand why. Okay, let's do something like, how many roadblocks does he have? He has one. Let's find someone with two. Alright, so this lane. This is interesting. Railgun. Railgun uses Lucius, Lilian, and Zenith. Okay, notice the DPS lane. Okay, and these are all Grandmaster fights, right? Zenith, Lilian in the front, Lucius at the back. So, because I hit Zenith with Eden, concentrated fire is placed on Eden. Alright? So he totally negates my use of roadblocks on the Eden lane. Alright? And that was extremely bad for me because I lost 3 DPS like practically immediately. Alright? For some reason, Velfen managed to clutch it, but yeah, it works like that, right? Velfen has extremely good turnaround potential. He might win the fight for you on his own. So basically, his roadblocks fared better than mine because he had a Zenith bait. Alright, so this is kind of like an interesting thing that you should see. You bypass the roadblock. Alright, and you can use it too in your strategy when you play Arena. It's a very valid strategy, alright? So probably, I think this guy has a couple of roadblocks, right? Okay, let's watch this one. Everyone is Grandmaster 1, alright? So these is pretty high tier fights. Notice the position of Lucius. He's in a skip. So he is betting. Not really betting, but the way that he placed a chalk behind the Lucius, which means that if a Foxy or a Sigmund hits Lucius, right, it's gonna hit the bomb and will die. So if it was Foxy, it wouldn't take too much of the Death Guard off. So that's a strat as well. Alright. And then we have the Lilian at the back, just to avoid Valges, Letos, Yunrangs, you name it, you know it. Alright, so that's the why the Lilian was placed at the back. Okay, so the critical part of this fight is which Levia is gonna kill the other one first. Alright? In this case, uh, his Levia died first, so the Lucius was doing a good job because Lucius is the best roadblock for Levia because Levia insta kills, right? So if you have a Lucius, I mean if, just, if you have one, he is the best roadblock to deal with Levias. I don't have an Archon skilled, so I don't use Archon at all. Double roadblock, Archon, Lilian. I lost this one because of the positioning of the roadblocks. Okay, notice that his formation, the place of his two roadblocks totally countered my team. Okay, so my Sigmund is gonna hit Archon, my Foxy is gonna hit Lilian. They both don't die. I can't go for his damage roll. And he slowly kills off my team one by one with Valja. Alright? And that's how effective roadblocks are. Because I could not make it in time to kill the two roadblocks, there's no way I could touch his DPS roll. And that's why he won. Alright? So you have to take in mind the kind of people you're fighting and their formations in arena. It's very important to note what they do and why they do it. Okay, and try and counter it if you want to rank high. Alright? So I'm just waiting for Lucius to die and there he goes. Okay, I think that's about enough. Maybe one more. Let me if I can find a interesting one. Something more interesting. I think there's a triple roadblock. There you go. Okay, Galv, my guildmate. Galv uses triple roadblock. Okay, so his units are placed in a way that he is hoping for my DPS row to be on the bottom lane. Alright. As I showed you just now, Lucius in front, skip a square, Lillian to avoid Alec. That's why it's placed in this manner, right? But he's unlucky because my DPS row is on top, and I went Eden first. So the front unit dies, and then skip hits the units at the back, right? Of Arkan, which is why he lost. So the positioning of your roadblocks is of utmost importance, alright? There is no way he was going to get past these two because he did not have fixed damage except Levier, and Levier died first. So there was no way he was going to go through these two roadblocks at the top. Okay? Okay, so hopefully you've seen enough examples of roadblocks in real matches. I showed you one defense and 4 attacks, right? Okay. So hopefully you understand roadblocks by now. And the big three for now, Arkan, Lillian, Lucius, right? Substitutes for these three. Not as good as roadblocks. Probably you can say they're just tanks. They're not entirely roadblocks. They don't block entirely a lane or attacks in any way. They take damage. Grossa, Aaron, Jin. Okay, so these are 6 examples of units that you substitute if you don't have any of the roadblocks at all. But if you want to climb arena, you're gonna need at least 1 or 2 roadblocks, alright? Otherwise, your team is just easy kills. Alright, if you want to rank high, of course. I mean, if you want to go to Challenger, top 10 in the server, or even top 20 if global is really competitive, top 50, you need roadblocks, and Lucius is the best. And Lucius is the way to carry yourself to very high ranks, alright? Lillian, Arkan come behind, and so on. Okay, so the substitutes. Dena, very tanky, high defense, with defense runes, incoming damage minus 65%. Really tanky, still takes damage, but really tanky. Grossa heals himself, immune to dots, and okay, let's ignore that. These are for pretty, I think, low to mid-tier arena ranks. You can use these as pseudo roadblocks because the damage units at that kind of rank are not that strong. One more would be Mamo. Mamo at high skill levels like plus 9 or 10, she would be counted as a roadblock because she's going to have a lot of energy guard, alright? But before that, and since most of you are from new servers like Global and Europe, Mamo is not really a roadblock until she has high skill levels, right? But she would be one of the pseudo roadblock substitutes as well. Alright, she is tanky to a certain extent at low plus. Tanky heals, so if the damage dealer does not kill him at once, he heals back up. Dio has Meso. He heals before he gets hit. He reflects by decaying the opponent if they're not immunity debuff. So if they're not immune, they will get decayed on and lose a lot of HP. Pretty good. He's tanky as well. Aaron is tanky. He heals when people hit him. He reflects damage, which is an added bonus. Really good. I will talk about taunts after this. All right. Seer, same thing. Meso, debuff immunity after, before normal attack. So when she attacks, she gains the immunity before she hits, so she's not going to get reflected with a decay from Dio because she's immune. Example, right? She has Stigma, max HP damage, curse counter before getting attacked, which is amazing. Defense up and stuff. Sia is really good, guys. Okay, but she still gets one shot at high tier arena, no matter what. But she's good for climbing up the ranks, alright? So I always recommend you getting a Sia if you're new to the game, right? Sia is really, really good. Alright, she also has Taunt. Jin is more of a trader. He trades with damage dealers, alright? So if I place him in front or in the second skip row, he is going to reflect and he will trade at high skill ups any DPS that does not have enough HP or defense and will kill them. He may not die most of the time. I mean, like, he may die, but he will at least take one with him, right? Sometimes he survives, sometimes he doesn't, right? Because at high skill ups, he gets incoming damage boost, reduction boost, so he doesn't take as much damage, right? Sometimes he survives, sometimes. Right, most of the time he trades. Okay? Same with Aaron. Um, his reflect is very specific. Is after being attacked, which means that he reflects with the incoming damage amount, right? A percentage of that amount, but it's only after being attacked. So only units that deal additional damage. All right. So the first number, the white number, is a normal attack, and he heals from that. All right. That's the normal attack. And the additional damage is the gray number, and that's the attack that is reflected by Aaron. So if Aaron dies from the normal attack, he does not reflect. If the unit has no additional damage, like Yuri, Aaron does not reflect. A lot of exceptions, right? You got to understand these, all right? But these are the pseudo roadblocks for lower tiers that you can use. There are a couple of others as well, but I'm not going to go through with them because there are too many, all right? You can use a lot of substitutes in this game, all right? Okay, so we're done with roadblocks. Pseudo roadblocks are not as good as the real top 3 roadblocks in the game. Keep in mind, alright, they're not going to achieve the same result because they will die, they will take damage. I'm not saying that those 3 do not take damage, they're weaknesses, but most of the time they stay alive. Okay? Talk about taunts. Let's leave units with taunts. Okay, so these 4 all have taunts. Alright, Seer, Diomarin, Grosa, Aaron. Okay, maybe you've watched this in another video before, but I'm going to go over it again. Taunt priority, alright? So if let's say all 4 units have their taunts active, alright? Guess which unit will be hit? The answer is Xie. Why? Because she's on the top row and she's in front. Alright, so even if all 3 units are in front, Xie will get hit among all 4. Even if all their taunts are active at the same time, Xie will be hit. But if I shift it like this, alright, something like this, if all 4 taunts are active at the same time, Xie will not be hit. Dio will be hit. Alright? Meaning they are all on at the same time, alright? So we're not going to talk about the turns and how long they last. And so on and so forth. The priority is top to mid to bottom. So any unit, if they are in the same line, like this, 1, 2, 3, Xie will get hit because she's on top, alright? And so on, right? So if there's no Xie there, she's at the back, Diomer will get hit. And then there's like this, Dio will get hit because he's in front of Grosa. So the priority is front first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so 4 is here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so on and so forth. Alright? So basically it's like this. This is the taunt priority. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. Alright? Based on their position in front and the row they are in. Alright? So if they are on top and they're in front, they will get hit, no matter what. Alright? If all taunts are active at the same time. Alright? If the taunt expires, then it's a whole different story. Okay, guys? Another thing, okay, this is really important, so I want to talk about it. A lot of you guys use Hell in Global and Europe, alright? Because you guys think Hell is amazing. You're not wrong, she's amazing for early game. But how are you going to use her in tandem with Seer? Because Seer is also very popular, and Hell. So the trick is, your Hell must always be placed with a lower priority than the Hell. The Seer has to be placed at a lower taunt priority than Hell. So, example like this. If both taunts are active, Hell will get hit, and she's gonna do her reflect amazingness, right? Her magic. She's gonna do her reflect because things are hitting her after she casts her taunt. Place her like this, place her like this, place her like this. Make sure that the taunt priority on Hell is always higher than Seer. Okay? Or any other taunt that you may be using. Alright, another example would be this. Something like this. Alright, and then you have Dana right in front to take some damage, right? So Hell doesn't die. Make sure the taunt priority is always higher on Hell. Because if it's this way, and both taunts are active at the same time, Hell is going to do nothing. She is not going to reflect any damage at all. Alright, because the taunt priority on Seer is higher, and Seer will be hit, and nothing is going to hit Hell, and she's not going to kill anything. Okay, and that's the main selling point. So make sure that your taunt priority is correct when you do your formation. Okay? Another thing about taunts. Taunts are used to drag the AoE or the damage from hitting most of your units. You want to minimize your losses as much as possible. Okay? So let's say I have 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. Okay, and then I want to buff Vanaka with a Vanaka, right? So I'm going to buff it like this. Okay, so because I think, oh, this is amazing. Vanaka buffs so many units. Wow, great. But your taunt is near your important damage units. So what this does is, because Velfen is very popular, we're going to talk about him, or Levia or whatever. Velfen has a 3x3 AoE range. So if Seer is the center of this AoE range because she has taunt on, this range is going to apply on this area right here, these 9 squares, and these 3 units are going to take damage because the taunt is too near them. So you need to move Seer away so as to not screw up your formation and your team. Okay, I hope that that makes sense. Alright, it doesn't mean that, oh, I buff so many units, I'm good. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to understand how taunts interact with your opponent's attacks. If I'm gonna put, okay, maybe, for example, alright, I'm gonna put a Hell right here. And then I'm buffing 3, right? I'm like, oh yeah, amazing. Alright, this is not ideal turn order, just example. I buff like this, and Seer is like behind. Alright, so both taunts are active. You don't realize this because you maybe you're new. What's gonna get hit when both taunts are active? Hell is gonna get hit because taunt priority. And then if it's a Foxy, okay, for example, Foxy is gonna hit Hell and hit the unit behind Hell. So in the way, you get damage on 2 units, and that is bad. Alright, that is really bad. Right, or if it's an Eden, Eden's gonna kill both of them anyways. Or Sigmund, same thing. Make sure your taunts are in places where they don't screw up your team. Okay, that is important. You must understand how to use the taunts. Alright. Also, Once again, I've talked about it in my previous video, I think, PvP Basics, I think. Go watch that video if you don't know. Turn order of the taunt, alright? Because Hell is a mage, but she does damage when she has a taunt up and reflex damage, right? She kills stuff. Reflects additional damage to enemy attacks. Amazing. So turn order of Hell, you always want her to be early, alright? So maybe you want to buff. You want to buff Hell, probably. I don't know, up to you. You can let her go 1 or go 2. But because she charges for 1 round, she's a mage. On the next round, she will be the first to taunt, which means the enemy is gonna hit her other than hitting other things first, because she has a taunt, right? So even if she's here, the taunt is up, she's gonna reflect and do something. But if she's late, like 8, right? And so she's gonna cast really late. And the opponent has 7 units that attack before your Hell has her taunt up. Which means that 7 units have done the damage on your team before Hell has even done her things, right? Her shit, her good stuff. You don't want that to happen. So Hell has to go early, right? And that's specifically for Hell. Alright? Seer. Right, so when you use Seer in high tier arena, right, Seer is going to be the taunt to move away damage, AoE damage. And as with all mages, okay, most mages, they will go early in a fight, right? Your Valferns, your Levias, they are 99% of the time, right? 99.9% of the time going to go early. So their turn order is going to be pretty early within the first 4 turns, right, of the opponent's attacks. Having Seer taunt at 7 or 8 would make them hit her because her taunt will be active, whilst it's the opponent mage turns to cast their magic, alright? So that's why you have a Seer taunt as late as possible, alright? Can put it 8, which might be better in a way. The taunt will last at the right rounds, alright? You can also use a taunt early, so that maybe you want to taunt away early damage from possibly, because most people, they put a DPS to hit first, right? Mages are never going to hit in the first round. You want to put an early taunt. Example, Warrior. Alright, so Warrior is a unit that supports, buffs units at the same time as she taunts. Alright, so amazing. So let's say I have Warrior at 1. Right, so taunt, the mage cast, and then you have your first hit, like Dana hits first. Okay, whatever. So the taunt is still active. 8 turns taunt, which means the first attack on the opponent is gonna go on Warrior. Right, because the taunt is active. So when that happens, if you happen to think that your DPS role is very vulnerable, Warrior is great because she has an early taunt and she doesn't use a turn for the taunt. She brings away the damage from your DPS row, giving them more time to deal their damage. Alright, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so using your taunts correctly is very important, especially in high tier arena, where your plus 10 leviers, your Valferns are a dime a dozen, right? They're everywhere. Their AoEs are big, they're huge, they're painful, they're gonna kill you quickly. Make sure your taunts are effective. If not, there's no reason to use taunts. Alright, make sure you know how to use the taunts. Okay, guys? Anyway, we're coming to the end of the first video, alright, of my PvP series. I think I covered everything about Roadblocks and Taunts. Following videos, we're gonna go on about the other roles like support, DPS. And then after that, we'll probably make another video about positioning logic, total team synergy, right? Turn order logic, Gonna teach you how to use and how do I say this? Arrange your turn orders for your DPS so they deal the most damage for you according to the kind of enemies you fight. Alright, according to their formations. Basically just some tips, alright? I can't be exact. There's no perfect formation for arena or PvP. Alright, unless you totally can predict the opponent's formation and turn order, then it can be perfect if you have the right units at the right skill ups available. Alright, if you have the tools, you are able to do it perfectly. Okay, you must have the right units with the right skill ups. That's the thing about arena. Okay, I can look at a formation. I can know exactly the turn order. I can know exactly how to kill off this formation with taking as much uh, as least losses on my team as possible. Like say for example Guild War. But if I don't have the units that I need to be able to kill off this opponent, I cannot achieve a perfect win, right? So you need the tools, and which is why you need to prioritize the units you skill up, right? They have to be effective in the long run or for whatever content you're going to do in the game. Okay? Anyway, went off topic there, I'm sorry. And we're probably going to do another video of how to analyze your recent matches and how to be flexible with your formation, how to switch around as you go along, how to notice and observe and find out the weaknesses of your own formation and how to change it up so that you win more. Alright, that's the whole point of this series. Anyway, guys, once again, thanks for watching the video. I hope you like this first part, alright, for my PvP series, Dummy's Guide to Brown Dust. Give me some support, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the videos to your friends if you think they need the help. If they're too good, you don't bother, alright? Yep. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go. I'm sorry again, this video is really long, but I just needed to be really clear and stuff. Take care, guys. Alright, ciao.